first exercise on our push day will be a flat dumbbell press. Now, I prefer to use dumbbells over a barbell because of the safety of using dumbbells. If you can't complete a rep, you can go ahead and just drop the weight. Here is a few form cues for this exercise. Make sure you keep your shoulders depressed. If you have issues where your shoulders are overtaking the exercise and you don't feel the chest engaging, I want you to pull your shoulders down so hard that you can feel your lats engage. Make sure to keep the chest up the whole time. Keep the core stable, keep your feet planted on the ground. Don't be lifting your butt off the seat, and stay in control of the movement. Now, if you're a beginner, we're going to be doing 12 to 20 reps. If you're intermediate, we're going for hypertrophy at 8 to 12 reps. If you're advanced, we're looking for more 6 to 10 reps. If you're a beginner, I would only do 2 sets working. If you're intermediate, 3 to 4 working sets is fine. And if you're advanced, I would still only do 3 to 4 working sets so you don't get too much fatigue in this exercise. And remember, we want a 3-second eccentric and a 1-second concentric, which means 1 second on the push, 3 seconds on the weight coming down. Second exercise on our push day will be a machine high incline press. Now, we want to make sure we're doing some sort of a high incline press to work our upper chest area. Now, remember, we're going to have our elbows in a down position and be pushing up. That makes it an upper chest movement. Now, the reason why I like to do a machine like this is because of the simulation of a fly. So we're working all of the pectoral muscle at the same time, and I feel great activation. Now remember, we want to keep our shoulders down and depressed. If you're having issues with your shoulder overtaking this exercise, push your shoulders down so hard that you feel your lats actually engaging. Keep that chest up. Even when you're getting closer to failure, just keep that chest pointed up. It's okay to let your shoulders do a little bit of a movement, but make sure to keep your core tight, your feet planted on the ground, and push through the movement. Now, if you're a beginner, we want to be doing a higher rep range between 12 to 20 reps. We want to be building our endurance up, and we want to do only 2 or 3 working sets. Intermediates, now we want to be doing 8 to 12 reps again, doing hypertrophy, and we want to be doing at least 3 or 4 working sets. And if you're advanced, we're looking at 4 or 5 working sets with 10 to 15 rep range. Final exercise of the chest portion of our push day is a crossover. Now you can do a cable crossover, a machine crossover, a dumbbell crossover, whichever one you have a preference for. Personally, I like to do the machine flies. The reason why is after doing my first 2 pressing movements, I'm a little worn out. And if you do a cable, you know you have to do your back foot in the back and hold yourself stable, and you can lose a little bit of stability. In the seated position like this, you have your back stable, take your chest and keep it pushed forward, put your feet into the ground and actually push back to keep yourself solid in the seat. I like to do this exercise mid-height of chest. I don't really want to do upper or lower. I find doing it in the center of my chest works best for me. Now with this exercise, we're going to be doing a higher reps. So if you're a beginner, we're doing more of a 15-20 rep set. Again, 2 or 3 working sets. If you're intermediate, we want to be doing 3 to 4 working sets, and we're going to be staying in the 10 to 15 rep range. And if we're advanced, then we want to be doing 4 to 5 working sets and be more in the 20 to 25 rep range. And just like the last exercise, we want a 3-second eccentric, a 1-second concentric. That means when we bring our hands together, it should take 1 second. When we let our hands come apart, it should take 3 seconds. And again, make sure to stay in control of the weight. Do not let the weight control you. Keep that core stable. This is the last exercise for the chest, so there's not another exercise. Don't leave anything on the table. Push it to failure and beyond. Next, we go to shoulders. First exercise for shoulders is going to be a shoulder press. Now, you can do this with a machine, you can do this with dumbbells, You can even do this with a barbell, and you can do this with the Smith machine. Use whatever machine you find works your shoulders the best. You want to make sure you're starting from about where your mouth is and go full extension. Now, don't bring your hands together to be using your triceps and taking some of the exercise off your shoulders. Now, keep your chest up, keep your feet solid to the ground, and push into the back of the chair to make sure that your back stays solid. Don't let your butt leave the chair. You'll be putting a strain on your lower back. Now again, for beginners, we're looking at 12 to 20 repetitions, 2 to 3 working sets. For intermediate, we're going to be doing 3 to 4 working sets, and we'll be doing 8 to 12 reps. And for advanced, we're going to be doing 4 to 5 working sets and 15 to 20 reps. Now our second movement for our shoulders is going to be a side lateral raise. Now you can do this seated, standing with a dumbbell. You can do this like I've been demonstrating with the cable machine, or you can do this with a regular machine seated. Now if you're a beginner, I would recommend do this standing with dumbbells to the side, so that way you can go ahead and work your core at the same time. Now if you're going to do the exercise like I'm demonstrating, you want to let your hand go behind your back. The reason I like to let my hand go behind my back is I feel I get a full stretch when I feel it pulls all the way behind my back. And then I raise my arm a little bit above my shoulder height, making sure to extend my pinky up, so I'm leading with my hand with my pinky up on both sides. Now you want to do both shoulders at the same time, so do one side, then move on to the other. Again, we're going to do a 1 second contraction. On the eccentric, we're not focusing so much on 3 seconds, more of just trying to control the weight on the way down. Now, let your arm go fully up. The best thing, the way of thinking is you're not pulling your hand up, you're pulling your hand away from your body and just let it naturally do what it wants. Now, if you're a beginner, we want to do again 12 to 20 reps. We want to build up our endurance. We want to do 2 or 3 working sets. If we're intermediate, we're going again with 8 to 12 reps for hypertrophy. We want to do 3 or 4 working sets. And if we're advanced, we're going to be hitting 15 to 20 reps with a higher rep range in the 20, looking for 4 or 5 working sets. And one last thing, a common mistake many people make is they try and keep their arm as they lift up completely to their side of their body. The natural motion for your arm is a 42-degree angle from your body. So the best way to think about that is, instead of guiding your arm in a direction, just push your hand away from your body as far as you can and let your arm go where it naturally wants to go. That is also the same if you're doing dumbbells. Don't keep your arms in line with the side of your body. Let it go a little bit in front of you. Don't bend your elbows so that you can do more weight. Keep your arm consistently straight and locked, and just again lift up away from the body. Exercise for the shoulder is a horizontal abduction. We're focusing on our rear head of the delt muscle, which is the back head of our shoulders. Now with this exercise, we want to, again, keep our shoulders down and depressed. That way our traps do not get involved. We want to make sure we keep our core tight, keep our feet planted to the ground, so that way you're not moving back and forth. Also, keep the stern of your chest solid against the chair and don't be moving back and forth too much. Now the key to this movement is you want to push through your pinkies but hold the handles very tight. You also want to think of pushing away from the center of your body. Now for beginners, again, we're going to keep a 12 to 20 rep for endurance, and we're only going to do 2 or 3 working sets. For intermediate, we're doing 3 to 4 working sets with a 8 to 12 repetition range for hypertrophy. And for advanced, we want to be doing 4 to 5 working sets, 15 to 20 reps, hitting the higher 20 rep range. Now, this is a final exercise for your shoulders. First exercise for triceps I like to do is a rope push down. Now, the secret to this exercise is you want to push down through your pinkies, but hold the rope with a good grip. Not too tight, because you're going to be then using your forearms. Now, keep your shoulders depressed down, that way they're not moving back and forth. Also, don't worry about moving your arms to the side. Focus more on just pushing the rope down, and you'll get a better contraction in your arms. Now, keep a wide base so you're not moving back and forth and keeping your core stable. And if your hands completely go to the side, that's good, but don't focus on that. Again, focus more on pushing down. Now, with beginners, again, this is a 12 to 20 rep set, but try and get higher up in those reps, about 15 to 20. 2 to 3 working sets is fine. Intermediates, we want 3 to 4 working sets, and we want 8 to 12 reps. And advanced, we want to go 15 to 20 reps, and we're looking to 4 to 5 working sets. Second exercise for our triceps is going to be our bent over tricep extension. Now, you can do this with a V-bar on a seat. I choose to do it with a cable because it gives me consistent tension throughout the whole movement. Now, the key to start with this is you want to slightly bend over and keep your spine in a neutral position. Put a little bend in your knees and keep your hips flexed and tight. Now, keep your elbows pointed down the whole time and just extend your forearms forward. Keep your elbows at about ear level, so that way your hand will naturally go over your head. Now, stay in control with this exercise. We want to do a 1 second contraction and a 2 to 3 second eccentric contraction. I keep my head forward and a little down so that way I don't hit my head. For beginners, we're going to be doing 12 to 20 repetitions for 2 or 3 working sets. For intermediate, we want to do 3 to 4 working sets with 8 to 12 repetitions for hypertrophy. And for advanced, I'd say go between 15 to 20, even 25 reps for 4 to 5 working sets. Now we're up to our last tricep exercise. This is just going to be a tricep push down with a flat bar. Now, you want to make sure you have a nice wide stance so you're not moving back and forth. Keep your shoulders depressed down so they're not moving back and forth. Keep your arms to your side and just let your forearms move up and down. I like to start about chest height and go to full extension, which is basically stopping right before I touch my body. So I want to push the weight straight down and leave it a little in front of my body. Now, for beginners, we want to do a good 12 to 20 repetitions with 2 to 3 working sets. For intermediate, as usual, we want to do 3 or 4 working sets with 8 to 12 repetitions for hypertrophy. And for advanced, we want to do 15 to 20 repetitions, try to even get 25 here, and we want to do 4 to 5 working sets. Remember, this is our last tricep exercise, so give it everything you got and don't leave anything on the table. For our last exercise, we're going to work on abs and obliques. Now, I like this machine because it allows me to bring my legs up and my upper body down. The best way to think about this exercise is think of you're a clam and you want to bring your upper body and lower body to the center. Now, we want to do 25 reps in the sit-up position with as much weight as possible. And then we're going to move on to the obliques. But first, we want to really exhaust the rectus abdominis before I move on to the obliques. Now comes the second part of the set. We're going to shift the lower part of the machine to one side, and we're going to focus on the opposite side. And we're going to do 15 reps. We're going to drop the weight by 2 or 3 plates. And the big focus here is the arm and leg that is farthest apart from each other. Those are the ones you want to pull close together. Don't let go of the other handle, but don't grab it real tight. Put more of a focus on the arm and the leg that is farthest apart. As soon as you finish, switch to the other side, give yourselves a few seconds break, and do another 15 reps with the opposite oblique. Remember, the arm and leg that is farthest apart is your focus. That's the two you're going to be bringing together. Don't focus on grabbing the other arm and bringing it close. Do 3 working sets of this, and your abs and obliques will be fried. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, share it with a friend, subscribe for further content, and have yourself a great day.